The vlog is back. I'm gonna start putting out a new vlog every single Tuesday. They're gonna be a documentation of my entire week. So it's gonna run from Sunday to Saturday, and then I'm gonna put them out every Tuesday. They're not gonna be pretty. There's gonna be no cool transitions, probably not even any color grading, music, probably not, maybe music. But yeah, just something new way to document my week. I'm gonna take some clips here and there, maybe throw them on Instagram. Just a long form piece of content that I'll be able to break down into shorter clips. I'm really excited. I recorded a different intro originally at the beginning of the week. It corrupted. I had a couple files corrupt on me when I bring them from my phone to my computer. So I'm re-recording it now. This vlog is going to pick up Sunday afternoon, the final 67's regular season home game. Let's get to it.
Good job. You have fun out there?
Guys picked up a big 8-3 win, so that's huge. Playoff start on Friday. Really looking forward to it. Just for a little context, I kept showing a goalie. He had like cut pads that didn't match. He's actually an emergency call-up we had today for the last game of the year. Our Mikey DiPietro, starting goalie, he's out and injured. Our third string goalie, Will Cranley, he's down playing in Junior A right now, and they have a playoff game tonight, so we weren't calling him up. So it was an emergency call-up that we had just for this game. And coach put him for like the last minute and a half, which is just a super classy move. Super cool. But no, stoked that we got the win. We just got some pizza. We're gonna have a little pizza night here. And yeah.
Just booked a podcast for Wednesday night. This is another in-person one. Since I got back from New York, I've only had one in-person interview. The rest of them have been over Skype. I think I did 3 over Skype and 1 in person. It's definitely better to do them in person. There's that better connection. So I'm really excited to do this one. I'm doing it at the Innovation Center in Ottawa, which is, I think it's probably like a 10-15 minute bus ride away from here, so not too bad. Podcast should be at, I think 6 p.m. is the time I said would work best for me on Wednesday, so looking forward to that. Gonna have to do some research on Tuesday nights because I won't have time tomorrow between doing the 67's awards in the evening and then going live on Instagram. But looking forward to it. So I'm gonna have a lot of research to do on Tuesday, but that one should be pretty cool. Other than that, I'm about to post a clip on Instagram I did for my last Instagram live, talking about how the podcast evolves kind of on a day-to-day basis, and I'm always reevaluating my content strategy. And I was just looking back on some of the old clips of the podcast, and I recently stopped doing the white bars above and below, or the black bars above and below the subtitle clips. And I was thinking I might start doing them again. I'm not too sure because I've stopped doing the podcast. Oh, the guy actually just got back to me now, and 6 p.m. on Wednesday works. So officially confirmed podcast on Wednesday. That's happening in real time. That's kind of cool. But I might start doing the white bars again. I'm not too sure because that wouldn't really work with the subtitles. But yeah, constantly reevaluating my strategy. And yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that last point, but I'm going to keep working on some stuff here. Sunday night, just grinding away.
I did a clip on Instagram tonight. I'll put like right here. And it's at the time that I'm recording this, it's been up for over an hour now. It's got like 19 likes. It's on pace to be my most liked piece of Instagram content in years, like on my main account. And it's tough. It's hard to kind of look at that and be like, shit, no one's liking this. And I'm not expecting people to like it either, but I'm not expecting people to like, because it's just different from anything what I've ever done. I'm really doing a big shift on my Instagram from using it like a regular person to using it like a personality, quote unquote. And in the grand scheme of things, like, and the reason I'm going to keep doing it is because that's what I want my Instagram to be about. I want to be someone that talks about
these things, content strategy, marketing, and it's just going to take some time to kind of get my followers used to it and build up an audience of people that would enjoy that kind of content. And so it sucks when I only get 19 likes on a photo, or a video, I guess technically, because that's a very public thing. Like, people can see how many likes I'm getting, that I'm not getting a lot. I'm not getting anywhere used to what I'm getting, but I'm doing it because I want to do it for me. Like, I'm not doing it for anybody else. And at the end of the day, like, likes really don't matter. I'm sure they'll go up again one day. I mean, I know the Instagram algorithm's doing some weird things and everyone's likes are down across the board, but I know this isn't strictly related to that. So it's a very public thing, like I've said, to see my likes go down so dramatically. But I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, keep plugging away. I don't want to get discouraged. But this year, this talk is really cool, because one of the things I'm excited for about the vlog is it's going to allow me to be reflective and kind of talk things through. Like, I feel a lot of people, it helps when you talk out loud and talk about different things, and a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do that, right? So this vlog is going to allow me to do that and talk through these things. So even though I'm not getting as many likes, like a dramatically less likes than I'm used to, I'm just going to keep plugging away, because in the grand scheme of things, I'd like my life to revolve around talking about these things, because it's what I like to talk about. I completely forgot. Today was Selection Sunday. I got the notification on my phone that the bracket is out. I haven't looked at it yet. I want to. If you don't know what I'm talking about, March Madness, NCAA, college basketball in the States, their big final tournament, in my opinion, one of, if not the greatest sporting events in the entire world, especially that first weekend. I absolutely love this tournament. I can't wait to build my bracket and have it burned within the first hour of March Madness. I'm very excited. I love March Madness. It's going to probably be, I'm going to watch a lot of it, and I usually don't consume a lot of stuff. I've stopped watching a lot of sports because I don't have time to sit down and watch 3 hours worth of TV and just be unproductive for that entire time. I'll probably be unproductive during March Madness. I just love it so much. I'll let you guys know what my bracket looks like when I kind of get it figured out. About to go live on Instagram. Got the camera set up here so I can grab some social content. Got lighting here with the 2 little lamps. Stoking to jump in here. I'll play some of the footage from the live that I get with the camera right now. And speaking of vlogs, I was going to kind of wait to talk about this, but I am. There's only 6 people, so you 6 people here get to hear this. I'm slowly starting to vlog again. I've decided I'm going to put out a weekly vlog, every single, probably Tuesday. It's going to run, like the vlog itself is going to run from my Sunday to my Saturday, and then I'm just going to throw it together on Sunday. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be something like, it's going to be rough. It's just going to be completely done on my phone. It's just going to be documenting my week, nothing crazy. Yeah, it's going to be me talking to my camera, probably not much B-roll, probably no cool transitions. It's just going to be a way to document my week. It's something to look back on in the future. Like, I remember looking back on the first couple Instagram vlogs I did, and it was cool to go back and see I was editing like the 4th podcast, and now I've edited 29, I think, and I've shot 35 and shooting the 36th one on Wednesday night. So yeah, so vlog might be making a comeback on YouTube, so that'll be pretty cool. We're gonna see. It's a trial run this week, so I'll be putting one out next Tuesday is the plan, and maybe the goal will be to stick with it, so hopefully that works. I want to try and like make my schedule. I want to turn my Sundays into like the personal brand day, where the Monday through Saturday it's working on podcast content, and then the Sunday is my personal brand day. So that's where I kind of throw all the clips and stuff that I gathered in my week into a vlog, and then I'll go through that and I'll kind of cut some smaller clips for social, and then anything I don't get done on Sunday, it just doesn't get done, and then I'm on to the next week. So I'm trying to find a way to balance producing content for the podcast and then producing personal brand content, because I'm really trying to figure out the value between the two. Because I was thinking about majority of the podcasts that I've listened to, it's because I've connected more so with someone's personal brand, and then I wanted to listen to their podcast more so than I listened to their podcast and then I found their personal brand through that. So I'm weighing the pros and cons of whether I should go all in on my personal brand and kind of slow down the podcast content. I don't think I can pull myself away from the podcast content yet though, so I'll have to see what happens. But I've talked about it a lot recently. I'm always reevaluating and trying to figure out where the best way to allocate my time is and where I'll get the most value out of my content. But I want to kind of start making more content about me. I like the podcast, and I don't want to stop doing the podcast. I love it, but I don't want it to be my social life and I'm the host. I want it to be
I'm Jacob Kelly, and I have this podcast to my social life because I think personal branding is really, really important. And I don't want to be locked into the podcast, although I think it's something that I do want to do long term. I don't want it to be the only thing. I don't want to be just straight up the podcast guy. I know that's kind of the road I'm walking down right now, but I think there's potential to do other things, and I don't want to just box myself in. So I'm trying to be Jacob Kelly with a podcast, not a podcast hosted by Jacob Kelly, if that makes sense. But I know that they're going hard on trying to make it more of a content platform and not just like your digital resume. From my understanding, they're over-indexing on video right now. So if you post a video on LinkedIn, they're going to show more people than if you just did like a status. Because they want their platform to be more focused on video. So the more video, if you post video, LinkedIn's going to try and promote a little more and with their algorithm that's opposed to if you were posting a photo or something like that. So I have a lot of my content is turning into video content. I am doing a photo shoot in a couple of weeks though, but a lot of my content is video content. I'm not posting on LinkedIn, and I should be.
I had a thought as I was walking home, and I was thinking I would listen to a Gary Vee podcast, and then that kind of triggered a thought, which triggered a bunch of other thoughts. But with the podcast right now, I produce a bunch of content with it in order to get people to download the podcast, right? The entire reason I make the clips of the podcast is that people will go and listen to it. I've been doing that for 7-8 months now, I think. And I'm not seeing a ton of success with it. Like, it's not like I post it and I get 10 downloads every time I post a clip or something. I only have over 500 followers right now on the podcast Instagram. And again, the goal with that Instagram is not to get followers on that Instagram account. It's to get people to come and download the podcast. So I was thinking, what if I reallocated all the time I'm doing to editing podcast social media content with like the thumbnails and everything, and what if I decided to take that time out of doing that and put it into getting like one freelance client that I can do on the side of work, like 3, 4, maybe 5 hours a week most, and just take that extra money and put it into the podcast and run ads against people that follow that guest or something. Would that be more effective than putting content out organically? Probably. So it's just something to think about. Maybe I should kind of slow down the podcast or do the content differently, and maybe just kind of repost some of the guests' content with the 1 or 2 clips a week and focus more so on maybe trying to get a freelance client, make a little extra money that I can then reinvest out of the podcast and get more downloads by running some Instagram swipe up ads. Definitely just something to think about, and something I'm going to start thinking about more and more. That means I'd have to find a client. Again, like just one client. Like I wouldn't quit my job or anything. But just like, yeah, one client on the side and use that money to reinvest. I don't know. It's interesting. You have to think about what the end goal is, right? My end goal is not to get followers, and it's not like my end goal is to produce content. The end goal is to get downloads to the podcast. So maybe I've just been looking at it wrong the entire time. Maybe this is the better way to look at it. I don't know. I'll have to think about it a little bit more, but there's just something that crossed my mind and I kind of wanted to talk about it.
Just finished researching for tomorrow's podcast. It's definitely one of my least favorite parts about the podcast. The research just takes me so long. Like, it took me about 2 hours to do. I didn't even find a thing. Like, I just try to find that one thing that people won't expect me to know. I didn't even find it. I just felt like I wasn't in the right headspace to be doing the research, but I had to get it done because the podcast is tomorrow. But one thing I need to start doing, getting better at, is I feel like I write too much on my paper. I feel like I need to just come up with the key points that I need to hit on and just kind of make it a conversation about each one of those. I feel like I just write too much, and that's kind of what adds so much time to the research. But yeah, I feel like I try to flesh out too much structure beforehand, so that's something I got to work on. But I'm excited for tomorrow's podcast. It's going to be really interesting. Take you guys along for the journey there. I'm sure you'll see in the next couple minutes here, because there probably won't be much vlog stuff tomorrow until then. But anyways, I'm going to make some Instagram posts now.
Got a 67s playoff press conference here within the next 20 or so minutes. That's the big thing today. Going to grab content around that. I'm going to keep pushing playoff stuff today at work, and then after work, taking off here on 4:30 because I have a podcast I'm doing at the Innovation Center at around 6. So that'll be fun.
I don't know. It's a really good program, like I said. We respect them. It's not about redemption, it's about us. It's about us playing the way we want to play.
Being able to do something special for this city would be an honor.
I think that our crowd has done an awesome job, especially in the second half, of getting us pumped up. And they've been a huge, important part of this season for us. And everybody in the room talks about how great our crowds are. And
just got back home from work. Podcast is in about an hour. It's 5 o'clock now. The podcast is at 6, so I just got to finish packing up the bag here. It's almost ready, and then kind of hit the road. Not looking forward to riding on the bus with the big backpack and the bag with the camera gear and tripod, but got to do what you got to do for the podcast. Really excited to record this one. Fad is a motivational speaker. Entrepreneurs raise a bunch of money for different projects, so I'm really excited to interview him. This came through former podcast guest Jason Estefanos. Sent me a message the other day, was like, hey, I have this guy to be perfect for your podcast. And then Fad and I set it up from there, so I'm really stoked to get this one recorded. It's going to be episode 36. Just got to finish packing and then hit the road, so I'm going to do that. Just loaded money onto my bus pass because I'm out, and it doesn't seem to be taking the money I'm adding to my card, so I might have to walk. It's 40 minutes. If I leave right now, I can make it. Fingers crossed the bus works and the pass tech my card. It's just not displaying on the app, but if not, I'm walking, so I really got to go now. The pass worked. We're going to be on time. Just walking up now.
David Bale shares this story in the book Art and Fear. And he talks about a ceramics teacher who wants to show his students why quality is better than quantity. And he wants to show that dichotomy. And so he gets his students, this high school student class, they're doing ceramics, and he splits the class in half. And he tells one half of the class, he said, you guys, your goal is to create the best pot ever. So this is the quality group, right? It doesn't tell them that. But your goal is to create the best. Your marks, you're going to be marked on the quality of your pot, how good it is. And he goes to the second group and he says, you guys are going to be marked on the amount of pots you create. Not how good they are, but the amount. You want to create as many as possible. And he gave them about 45 minutes to an hour to do their thing. And then he got them to all line up their pots. And to his own surprise, he saw that the pots on the quantity side were better than the ones on the quality. And he was confused. He was like, what? And so he asked one of his students, he says, what happened? And one of his students says, well, sir, the first 3 pots I made were shit. But the 4th one and 5th one were pretty good. And he's going to choose the quality ones. He said, what happened with you guys? He said, well, I'm still trying to fix the first one. See, this is what happens to us. We get stuck on making the perfect blog post and the perfect Instagram post or the perfect first video, the perfect first podcast.
Wrapped up recording that episode with Fahad. That was a really, really good episode. I should have just put a clip or 2 here. This is my intention as I'm finishing it. I'm just heading back to the bus now. I'm gonna get home, figure out what to have for dinner because I have no idea what I'm gonna eat, and then from there, I don't know. Maybe I gotta do laundry. I gotta do laundry tonight. Maybe start editing. I gotta edit the Brandon Hatcher episode. That's the next podcast I gotta edit. So, but no, I'm super happy with how that turned out. With playoffs starting in a couple of days, I figure I should probably shave this off. Can't start the playoff beard 2 months early, so gonna shave this off and then start growing it back again. I've had this for, it's only been a month. I thought it was longer than that. I think it's only been like maybe just over a month that I've been growing this. So shaving it off right now. Get ready for the after in 3, 2, 1. Like a whole new person. Feels kind of weird. Looks kind of weird. But I mean, start growing it back now. Just got back from the gym. I got to get into work quickly today. I have a video shoot in just under 2 hours where I'm actually the guy on camera, but I'm also supposed to come with the stats and everything. It's a playoff preview video. So I got to get into work and make sure I have some numbers to back up what I'm saying in that video.
What's going on, 67s fans? Round 1 of the OHL Playoffs gets underway inside the arena at TD Place Friday night. We're taking on the Hamilton Bulldogs, and this is everything that you need to know. Here's 2 guys to keep an eye on from the opposition.
17-year-old Arthur Kalliev had a big year this
this year for the Bulldogs, putting up 51 goals and 51 assists for 102 points. The 17-year-old is projected to go first round in the upcoming NHL draft. Bulldogs captain Matt Strome has always been consistent in the OHL playoffs throughout his career. Last season on the Bulldogs' run to the OHL championship, Strome nearly averaged a point per game with 18 in 20 games. The season before that, Strome had 8 points in 7 games, and this year the Philadelphia Flyers prospect had a career year with 79 points in 68 games. And here's who you need to watch for the Ottawa 67s. 67's deadline acquisition Kyle Maximovich brings a ton of postseason experience to the Barber Pulls. With 55 games played in his OHL career, Maximovich is also an OHL champion and has experience playing in the Memorial Cup. Expect Maximovich to bring that experience and leadership to the 67's locker room. We couldn't talk about players to watch without mentioning 67 star forward Ty Felber. The 20-year-old had a career year with 59 goals and 50 assists for 109 points, good for 1.6 points per game. Last year, Felly had 2 goals and 2 assists for 4 points in 5 playoff games. We'll see if he can carry that regular season magic into the playoffs. Are you planning to come to the 67's games during the playoffs? That's a trick question. Of course you are. Did you know that your ticket to the game gets you free access to OC Transpo 3 hours before and after the game? You can also use our free park and shuttle at Carleton University. Just use lot P18. You can head to ottawa67s.com for more info. Doors aren't open right now, but they will be open 1 hour before puck drop before every single game. Tickets are still available. If you don't have yours yet, you can get them at ottawa67s.com. We'll see you at the game. That video shoot today was tons of fun. I had a blast doing that video, being on camera. Hopefully, knock on wood, we'll get a couple more of those videos in before the end of the playoffs. It was a ton of fun. But there's something else I want to talk about completely separate from that video shoot from today. And I've been, like, the past little while, been kind of feeling like burnt out a little bit when it comes to, like, the podcast. And I kind of just in terms of everything. And I was thinking about it yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I wrote a note down on my phone. I didn't get a chance to talk about it. But I think I was just feeling not necessarily burnt out, but just coming off the high that was New York. Like, every other day, or every day we were meeting 1 to 2, 3 people recording tons of podcasts in the span of 6 days, all these epic places in the big, great city of New York. And then I come back and that's not happening anymore, obviously. I'm just recording on Skype, which is still cool, but it's not the same as meeting someone in person and going to all these places. And I think maybe that's part of the reason why I'm kind of feeling like, I'm not dreading doing the podcast in any sense. Just, I think burnt out is the right word. Yeah, I think it's just coming off that high that was New York. And on top of that, the downloads aren't doing what I thought they would. I was hoping we'd see an increase and a consistent increase, but I'm actually in a decline right now, which makes things a little bit harder. So I'm trying to figure out ways to promote the podcast. I know I've got to do some Instagram ads and stuff. I just don't make a ton of money to the point where I can just start throwing it into Instagram ads, right? Just maybe a little bit here and there, and I might do some swipe ups, see what happens. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to just talk that through. Like, I think I said this at the beginning, I don't remember. It's going to be a week long at the end of this, but it's just cool to kind of talk about these things out loud and use the vlog as almost a form of reflection. And it's just, I think that I don't want to give up when it comes to the podcast, right? Like, there'll always be that what if I give up, and I don't want to give up. But there's just a little bit of, burnt out, I think, and work's only getting busier, and yeah, I don't know where I was going with this. Just feeling a little bit burnt out right now, but still trudging along. I'm about to edit episode number 29 of the podcast with Brandon Hatcher. That's a good one. It's the guy from Vayner Talent, such a good dude. But yeah, and I was just thinking too, with the amount of these, like, me talking, I think this vlog is going to be really long. Like, I was worried it was going to be like 5 minutes. I think it's going to be like 20 minutes, but I'm going to edit this video now, and I will talk to you guys at some point. Round 1 of the OHL Playoffs goes tonight. The 67s are hosting Hamilton. It's cool. It's a reverse of last year's playoff. Hamilton was first. We were 8th. Now we're first. They're 8th. Should be a fun one tonight. Hoping the barn's going to be full. Spent my morning today just engaging with fans on Twitter, sharing things. There's this epic class. I don't remember what school, but they remade a video, the Office video that we made early in the season, and it was just so dope. Check that out. I also put out the video today of me doing that playoff preview. And on top of that, when I was engaging with fans, I also edited in the rest of the Brandon Hatcher episode number 30. Yeah, so it's a super productive morning. Got to get to the office now, though. Excited for the game tonight.
anyone coming up, we'll let them see this as well. At forward, Attica, number 23, Brendan Bank.
Morning, last day of the first weekly vlog. Last night was crazy, big 9-3 win. Didn't do anything when I got home, just went home, came to bed. Talked myself out of going to the gym before I went to sleep last night, but woke up. I know I should be going. So I'm on the way to the gym now, and we'll see what happens after that.
We are on our way to a cat cafe, whatever that is.
I do want to take, not expecting anything from it, but I just want to try to like take more pictures and post more on Instagram and stuff.
You post like once every 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm starting to post every day.
Yeah.
Right? So, no, but you should do it.
Plus, like, it's just something that makes me happy.
And
I want to, like...
The orange one is napping. Just trying to take pictures, but it's a mirror behind them, so I'm like...
Today when I was at my grandparents', I got a text from my boss, and he was like, hey, I have some good news. Let me know when I can talk to you. So I gave him a call, and he let me know that the 67's general manager invited me on the bus for games 3 and 4 of round 1. Myself and a couple other people, so that's really, really cool. He just said, I don't know the exact wording, but it was along the lines of, we've been putting in work all season. We crushed it game 1, so we're getting the opportunity to travel on the road, which is really, really cool. And not a lot of people get that opportunity, so I'm super duper fortunate, super duper excited to go on the road. But yeah, I think that's a really good spot to end week 1 of the vlog. I'm really excited to hit the road. You'll get some stuff next week in the vlog of the road trip. So yeah, if you've watched this entire thing, thank you very much. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.